The story of the prophet Isaiah is found primarily in the book of Isaiah in the Hebrew Bible, also referred to as the Old Testament in the Christian tradition. Isaiah's story spans a significant period in Israel's history, offering insights into his prophetic mission, the political and social context of his time, and his visions of future hope and redemption. Isaiah, whose name means Yahweh is salvation, was born around 760 BCE. He was likely from a family of some standing in Jerusalem, as his writings show a familiarity with the royal court. Isaiah's prophetic career began in 740 BCE, the year King Uzziah died. His calling is vividly described in Isaiah 6, where he experiences a profound vision of God in the temple. He sees the Lord seated on a high throne with seraphim attending him, crying, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of his glory." Isaiah feels overwhelmed by his sinfulness, but one of the seraphim touches his lips with a live coal from the altar, purifying him. When the Lord asks, "Whom shall I send?" Isaiah responds, "Here am I, send me." Isaiah's mission spanned the reigns of 4 kings of Judah: Uzziah, Jotham. Isaiah's prophetic mission unfolded during a tumultuous period in the history of Judah, marked by significant political, social, and spiritual challenges. His messages were directed not only at the kings and the people of Judah, but also at the surrounding nations. Isaiah's mission can be categorized into different phases corresponding to the reigns of the kings he served under and the particular challenges and events of those times. Isaiah's prophetic ministry began in the final year of King Uzziah's reign around 740 BCE. Uzziah's reign was marked by economic prosperity and military strength, but also by spiritual complacency and moral decay among the people. Isaiah's early prophecies emphasized the need for genuine repentance and a return to faithful worship of Yahweh. He warned of impending judgment due to the people's hypocrisy, social injustice, and idolatry. Jotham, Uzziah's son, continued his father's policies but failed to address the underlying spiritual issues. Isaiah continued to call out the moral and religious failings of the people. He highlighted the gap between religious observance and ethical behavior, condemning empty rituals and calling for justice, righteousness, and compassion. His message was clear: true worship of God must be accompanied by ethical living. One of Isaiah's critical moments came during the reign of King Ahaz, who reigned over Judah. He faced significant challenges during his rule, both politically and spiritually. His reign was marked by political instability and external threats, particularly from the Syro-Ephraimite alliance, as well as internal issues related to idolatry and faithlessness. Isaiah's prophetic mission during this period was crucial in addressing these challenges and providing divine guidance. War posed a significant threat to Judah, with Syria and Israel forming an alliance against Assyria and pressuring Judah to join them. Isaiah counseled Ahaz to trust in God rather than seek military alliances. He delivered the famous prophecy of Emmanuel, stating, "The virgin will conceive and give birth to a son and will call him Emmanuel." Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14, signifying that God would be with them. This prophecy assured that God was with Judah and that their enemies would not prevail. However, Ahaz ignored Isaiah's counsel and sought Assyrian help, which led to Judah becoming a vassal state and paying heavy tribute to Assyria. Ahaz inherited a kingdom under threat. The northern kingdom of Israel, also called Ephraim, and Syria, also known as Aram, formed an alliance to resist the encroaching power of the Assyrian Empire. These two nations attempted to pressure Judah to join their coalition against Assyria. When Ahaz refused, Israel and Syria turned against Judah, hoping to replace Ahaz with a more cooperative ruler. This conflict is known as the Syro-Ephraimite War. Faced with the imminent threat of invasion, Ahaz was deeply troubled. Instead of turning to God for help, he considered seeking assistance from the Assyrian king, Tiglath-Pileser III. This move would have significant repercussions for Judah's sovereignty and spiritual integrity. In this critical juncture, Isaiah played a pivotal role as a prophet and advisor. God sent Isaiah to meet Ahaz and deliver a message of reassurance and faith. Isaiah confronted Ahaz as he inspected the water supply in preparation for a siege. This encounter is recorded in Isaiah chapter 7. Isaiah urged Ahaz to trust in Yahweh and not to fear the two kings threatening him. He told Ahaz to ask for a sign from God to confirm his promise of protection. However, Ahaz, under the pretense of piety, refused to ask for a sign, saying, "I will not ask. I will not put the Lord to the test." Isaiah chapter 7, verse 12. Unfortunately, Ahaz ignored Isaiah's counsel. Instead of trusting in God's promise, he sought help from Assyria. He sent messengers to Tiglath-Pileser III with silver and gold from the temple and royal treasury, pleading for military assistance. Assyria responded by attacking Syria and Israel, effectively relieving the immediate threat to Judah. However, this alliance with Assyria came at a great cost. Judah became a vassal state, subjected to heavy tribute and the political dominance of Assyria. Furthermore, Ahaz introduced Assyrian religious practices into Judah. He saw an altar in Damascus and had a replica made in Jerusalem, incorporating pagan worship into the temple services. This act of syncretism further corrupted the spiritual life of Judah and led the people away from exclusive worship of Yahweh. Isaiah continued to prophesy against Ahaz's policies and the people's apostasy. He condemned the alliances with foreign powers and the idolatrous practices introduced into Judah. Isaiah's message was clear. Political and military alliances were futile compared to trusting in Yahweh's protection and provision. In Isaiah 8, he reiterated the importance of relying on God rather than foreign alliances. He also warned of the coming judgment due to Judah's unfaithfulness. Despite these warnings, Ahaz persisted in his ways, leading Judah into deeper spiritual decline. King Ahaz's reign was a period of significant trial for Judah. His failure to trust in God and his reliance on Assyria led to political subjugation and spiritual corruption. Isaiah's role during this time was critical, as he sought to guide the king and the nation back to faithfulness to Yahweh. Although Ahaz did not heed Isaiah's counsel, the prophet's messages of judgment and hope continued to resonate, laying the groundwork for future restoration under more faithful kings like Hezekiah. Isaiah's interactions with Ahaz highlight the importance of faith and trust in God, especially in times of crisis. They also underscore the dangers of compromising spiritual integrity for political expediency, a lesson that has enduring relevance. King Hezekiah's reign marked a significant shift toward religious reform and national recovery in Judah. His reign is often noted for its return to the worship of Yahweh, a stark contrast to his father Ahaz's idolatrous practices. Hezekiah's leadership faced tremendous challenges, including the deadly threat of Assyrian invasion. Throughout these trials, Isaiah served as a key prophetic voice, guiding Hezekiah all through his reigning. Isaiah's influence grew during King Hezekiah's reign. Hezekiah was a reformist king who sought to return Judah to the worship of Yahweh. When the Assyrian king Sennacherib invaded Judah and besieged Jerusalem, Hezekiah turned to Isaiah for counsel. Isaiah assured Hezekiah that God would protect Jerusalem. Miraculously, an angel of the Lord struck down 185,000 Assyrian soldiers, forcing Sennacherib to withdraw, according to Isaiah chapter 37. Isaiah's messages were not confined to immediate political issues. He also spoke of broader themes of judgment and redemption. He warned that the continued disobedience of Judah would lead to exile, but also promised that a remnant would return. Isaiah 40:66, often referred to as Deutero-Isaiah, contains some of the most poetic and hopeful passages in the Bible. These chapters include promises of comfort, the coming of a suffering servant who would bear the sins of many, and a new creation where peace and justice would prevail. Isaiah's influence reached its zenith during King Hezekiah's reign. Hezekiah, unlike his father Ahaz, was a pious king who initiated significant religious reforms, including the centralization of worship in Jerusalem and the removal of high places and idols. Hezekiah sought Isaiah's counsel frequently, especially during times of national crisis. One of the most notable events was the Assyrian invasion led by King Sennacherib. After capturing several fortified cities in Judah, Sennacherib besieged Jerusalem. Hezekiah turned to Isaiah for divine guidance. Isaiah prophesied that Sennacherib would not enter Jerusalem. Instead, God would defend the city. Indeed, the Assyrian army was miraculously defeated, with a large number of soldiers struck down overnight. This event not only confirmed Isaiah's prophetic authority, but also strengthened Hezekiah's faith and resolve. Isaiah's mission also included prophecies against foreign nations, such as Babylon, Assyria, Moab, Damascus, Syria, Egypt, and others. These prophecies highlighted God's sovereignty over all nations and his use of these nations to accomplish his purposes. Isaiah foretold the downfall of these powers, emphasizing that their pride, injustice, and idolatry would lead to their destruction. Despite his warnings of imminent judgment, Isaiah also offered messages of hope and restoration. He spoke of a future king from the line of David who would establish a reign of justice and peace. This messianic prophecy has been interpreted by Christians as a reference to Jesus Christ. Isaiah also envisioned a time when Jerusalem would be a center of worship and learning for all nations, a vision of universal peace and righteousness. Isaiah chapter 2, verses 2 to 4. Isaiah, often referred to as Deutero-Isaiah, contains prophecies of comfort and restoration for the exiled Israelites. He foretold the return from Babylonian exile, the rebuilding of Jerusalem, and the establishment of a new covenant. These chapters include the suffering servant songs, which describe a servant of God who would bring justice through suffering and sacrifice. Christians see this as a prophecy about Jesus' sacrificial death and its redemptive significance. Isaiah's prophetic mission had a profound impact on his contemporaries and has continued to influence subsequent generations. His call for repentance, his emphasis on social justice, and his vision of a future messianic kingdom resonate deeply in both Jewish and Christian traditions. Isaiah's writings are quoted extensively in the New Testament, particularly in relation to the life and ministry of Jesus Christ. Isaiah's vision of a world where peace, justice, and the knowledge of God prevail remains a powerful and enduring hope. His life and prophecies continue to inspire believers to pursue righteousness, trust in God's sovereignty, and hope for the ultimate fulfillment of God's promises. Isaiah's prophecies during King Hezekiah's reign are a profound mixture of forewarning and hope, reflecting the intense socio-political and spiritual dynamics of the time. Hezekiah's efforts to restore true worship were accompanied by the ever-looming threat of Assyrian aggression, making Isaiah's messages both timely and timeless. Isaiah's messages of judgment are deeply interwoven with his calls for repentance. He starkly criticized the social injustices and religious corruption that persisted in Judah despite Hezekiah's reforms. Isaiah highlighted the hypocrisy of those who performed religious rituals yet oppressed the poor and needy. In Isaiah 1:15-17, the prophet declares that the Lord finds no pleasure in the multitude of sacrifices offered by a people whose hands are full of blood. Isaiah also prophesied about the consequences of Judah's alliances with foreign powers and their reliance on military strength rather than on the faithfulness to God. He foresaw that these political maneuvers would lead to devastation and suffering. For instance, Isaiah chapter number 3 paints a vivid picture of a society stripped of its leaders and warriors, with Jerusalem and Judah falling because they spoke and acted against the Lord. Alongside his warnings, Isaiah conveyed messages of divine hope and restoration. He reassured the people that God had not forsaken them, and that a remnant would survive the coming judgments. This remnant would be the seed of a renewed and faithful nation. Isaiah's prophecies often oscillated between immediate threats and future redemption, emphasizing God's ultimate purpose of purification rather than destruction. Isaiah chapter 4, verses 2-6, speaks of a future time when the branch of the Lord will be beautiful and glorious, and those who survive in Zion will be called holy. This prophecy alludes to a purification process through which God's judgment also brings renewal and restoration. A pivotal moment in Hezekiah's reign was the Assyrian siege of Jerusalem. The Assyrian king, Sennacherib, threatened to overrun the city, boasting of his invincibility and mocking Judah's reliance on God. In this dire situation, Hezekiah sought Isaiah's guidance. Isaiah's response was a powerful affirmation of God's sovereignty and protection. He prophesied that the city would not fall into Assyrian hands, and that God would defend Jerusalem for his own sake and for David's sake. True to Isaiah's prophecy, an angel of the Lord struck down 185,000 Assyrian troops, forcing Sennacherib to retreat, a miraculous deliverance that underscored the prophet's earlier assurances of divine salvation. These prophecies were not only future-looking, but served to inspire hope among the people of Judah during challenging times. They reassured the people that God's plan included a restoration of the Davidic monarchy through a ruler who would embody ideal kingship. Isaiah's prophecies during Hezekiah's reign are a dynamic interplay of imminent danger and transcendent hope. They reflect a theology deeply rooted in the belief that God is actively involved in the affairs of nations, directing history towards his ultimate purpose of redemption and peace. Isaiah's words offered not just forewarnings, but also a vision of hope, which sustained Judah through perilous times and beyond, pointing towards a future where divine justice and peace would prevail. Isaiah's vision of the New Jerusalem stands as a central and enduring element of his prophetic messages, providing a profound contrast to his prophecies of judgment and destruction. This vision unfolds across several chapters in the book of Isaiah, offering a detailed and hopeful picture of a future where peace, righteousness, and divine glory fill the earth, centered on Jerusalem as the focal point of God's universal reign. Isaiah portrays the New Jerusalem as a place transformed by God's glory and inhabited by a righteous community. In Isaiah 60, the city is depicted as radiantly glorious, with nations walking by its light and kings to the brightness of its rising. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you, declares Isaiah in Isaiah 60, verse 1. This image of light overcoming darkness serves as a powerful metaphor for God's redemptive action in the world. The wealth of nations flows into the city, symbolizing not only prosperity but also the recognition of Yahweh as the one true God. Gold and incense are brought to glorify God, and the city's gates remain open always, welcoming people from all nations in Isaiah 60:11. This inclusivity marks the New Jerusalem as a place of universal pilgrimage and worship, where diverse peoples unite under the sovereignty of God. Central to the vision of the New Jerusalem is the reign of peace and justice. Isaiah chapter 11 describes a ruler from the line of Jesse who judges with righteousness and equity, especially in favor of the poor and meek. Under his leadership, natural enemies reconcile, and predatory behavior is transformed. The wolf will live with the lamb, the leopard will lie down with the goat. This idyllic peace extends to all creation, depicting a return to Edenic harmony where harm and destruction are no more. Isaiah 65 introduces a new heaven and a new earth where the former things, including sorrow and crying, are forgotten. In this new creation, the longevity of life returns to its Edenic state, and people enjoy the work of their hands without the threat of oppression or injustice. They will build houses and dwell in them. They will plant vineyards and eat their fruit. In Isaiah chapter 65, verse 21. This prophecy assures the people that their labor and aspirations will not be in vain, reflecting a restored relationship between humanity and the created order. The legacy of the prophet Isaiah extends far beyond his own time, influencing countless generations across religious, cultural, and philosophical lines. Known as the Prince of Prophets, Isaiah's writings are among the most profound and widely cited in the Bible, characterized by their depth of insight into the nature of God, human sinfulness, and the hope of salvation. Isaiah's prophecies have had a profound impact on Jewish and Christian theology. In Judaism, his visions of the New Jerusalem and the peaceable kingdom have shaped Jewish concepts of the Messianic age and the end of days, where peace and justice prevail. These themes are integral to Jewish liturgy and eschatology, particularly Isaiah's vision of all nations coming to Zion to learn the ways of God, as described in Isaiah chapter 2, verses 2 to 4. In Christianity, Isaiah is quoted extensively in the New Testament, reflecting his influence on early Christian thought. His prophecies of the virgin birth in Isaiah chapter 7, verse 14, the suffering servant, Isaiah 53, and the righteous rule of the Messiah, Isaiah chapter 9, verse 6 to 7, are seen as foretelling Jesus Christ's life, ministry, and sacrificial death. This interpretative tradition has cemented Isaiah's role in Christian theology as a pivotal figure that bridges the Old and New Testaments. The enduring relevance of Isaiah's prophecies lies in their universal themes of hope, redemption, and divine sovereignty. His vision of a world reconciled and renewed continues to inspire people across different faiths and ideologies, offering hope amidst despair and guidance in times of moral uncertainty. Isaiah's ability to speak to the fundamental issues of human existence, justice, oppression, salvation, and the nature of God, ensures that his legacy remains vibrant and significant in contemporary religious and philosophical discussions. Isaiah's legacy is not confined to the past, but continues to resonate in the present, influencing modern theology, inspiring artistic and literary creations, and guiding ethical and social action. His prophetic insights into the human condition and the promise of divine intervention continue to offer light to a world in search of spiritual and moral direction. The life and prophecies of Isaiah offer Christians rich lessons in faith, obedience, and the character of God. As one of the major prophets of the Old Testament, his teachings hold a profound impact on Christian doctrine and personal spirituality. Here are key lessons Christians draw from Isaiah's life. Isaiah's vision in Isaiah 6, where he sees the Lord seated on a throne, high and exalted, is a fundamental text that underscores the holiness and majesty of God. The seraphim call out, "Holy, holy, holy is the Lord Almighty. The whole earth is full of His glory." This encounter teaches Christians about the awe-inspiring purity of God and serves as a reminder of His transcendence and separateness from sin.
Thank you for watching. Keep trusting, keep praying, and keep believing. Until next time, stay in the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more inspirational videos. Your support is highly appreciated. God bless you.